Chiefs, Raiders. Kansas City favored by almost 10 in a game we've been waiting for since the offseason, where the Raiders decided that playing with a puppet Mahomes was a good idea. When Mahomes saw this and was asked for his response, here's what he said in July. Take a listen.
I know you've probably seen the video of the Raiders with the Muppet of you. Is that something that you kind of compartmentalize when you use it when you get ready to play them?
Yeah, I mean, it's still early in the year. Kind of stuff like that happens. It'll get handled when it gets handled.
Oh, well, it's handling time. Do you expect Mahomes to send a message on Sunday?
Yeah. I'm so excited for this.
Me too.
I'm more excited for this game than I was the Bengals game. The Ravens game I was more because it was the first game of the year. But there's so many things here. First of all, some fun facts about Patrick Mahomes. So the audience has probably heard me say this, but I'll mention it again. He's only ever lost once indoors. Once. He's 16-1. The one is the game Brew will never let me forget that stupid Colts loss. Whenever he's like, hey, even the Chiefs lose to the Colts. Like that stupid game. He's also not oddly, but kind of awesomely, 30-4 when he's playing the late afternoon games. So which is typically 425, like the standalone national TV. This one isn't the big national TV game, but it's still at that time slot. And, of course, there's the fact that he owned the Las Vegas Raiders. He owned them when they were the Oakland Raiders. He would have owned them if he was in the league when they were the LA Raiders. And he owns the Las Vegas Raiders.
Amen,
and they're the last team to beat him. And maybe my favorite of all these stats, which is this. He owns that stadium. He won a Super Bowl in that stadium. He also has more wins than any Raider quarterback in the Raiders stadium other than Derek Carr. He has like Gardner Minshew doesn't have 2 wins. Mahomes got 5 in their building. And so, yeah, I think this is Mahomes' second home. It's the stadium he crushes in. It's the last team who beat him. Yep. Everyone talked trash. Antonio Pierce said his nonsense. So, yes, I expect him to send a message, Brew.
Yeah. He's going to send a message. Like, that quote, it'll get handled when it gets handled, that was like something Mike Tyson would say in his prime. Like, before a fight. Somebody's been talking trash, it'll get handled when it gets handled.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Wow. Sorry, Mike. No,
Impression?
Okay. That was done out of respect. Yeah.
I bet.
But, yeah, look, and he's going against the Raiders. The nerve of them to do that. I mean, the nerve of them to do that to the best player in the league. This is a team that is the 4th worst scoring defense in the league. 26 points a game they give up. They gave up 32 to Justin Fields, who had trouble scoring against everybody. They gave up 34 to Bo Nix and the Broncos this season. They gave up 36 to Andy Dalton. If Mahomes don't go berserk with D-Hop there now, DeAndre Hopkins, I mean, they still probably going to win, but it's just going to be like, man, when's he going to get back to being Mahomes? So, yeah, I'm expecting the light show, as he would call it.
Absolutely. I mean, I think this is a sweep, for sure. This is one of those moments as an athlete when you let it ride until it's right in front of your face, and then you get on the field, and you remind them every single time. You remember when you said that? You remember what you said? You remember that? This is how Patrick Mahomes feels about the Raiders. And any team that he plays when he's playing, as of late, the last couple years when he's playing in his game 7 of the season, he's just been lights out. And this is what you don't want if you are the Raiders. These are his numbers in 2022, Game 7, when he wasn't balling out of control. But look at those passing yards.
2022, he was balling out of control. But 2023,
he was struggling.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
You're correct. 2023, he was struggling. That was against the Chargers. Yep. And he has 10, look this up, he has 10 400-yard passing games. 2 of those are against the Raiders.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he owns this team, to your point. And so you give him another weapon, and you give him the little Kermit little chip. Like, every time, you like that? Yeah.
And I'm going to add one other thing, because Wilds has a skeptical eye here. We are also back in, or the other thing that's usually happening right around week 7 every year is the media has decided, you know what? there's somebody better than him, actually. And it was Josh Allen a few years ago. It was Joe Burrow after that. Last year it was Lamar. And this year it's Lamar again. You're putting him atop Mahomes Mountain. Everyone has Lamar right. I'm not talking about MVP race. I'm talking about the quarterback lists. My friend Steven Ruiz, that does the quarterback rankings for The Ringer, for the first time in 2 years, someone other than Mahomes was at the top. It was Lamar. And that stuff, while Mahomes just wants to win, that stuff, he has not been private about it. He's aware of it. If he's not aware of it, his trainer, Bobby, shows it to him, and he makes lists about it, and he's done that to the Raiders before, and so that's why. But
so I want to see it. Obviously, I've wanted to see it the whole year, but I think you've made cogent points on, look, it's a long year. They view it as a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
There's ways to approach different games differently as long as you come out with a W. If this is a revenge game, we didn't even talk about the Antonio Pierce stuff where he said there's the Mahomes rule. It's like rough. Did you pull the
play the side? Okay. Here's Antonio Pierce after he got the win that got him the job and probably hurt the Raiders long term. Here's here's Antonio.
The Chiefs. These dudes, you know what I mean? Like they did that. Yeah. So it's okay. It's cool. Like I told them, like we're running back. We'll see them again. They got to see us. We got to see them. Yeah. Yeah. And we already given the recipe of how to do it.
Okay.
Given the recipe about how to do it.
So I know, if it doesn't happen, if we get a 12-round by decision, pop. A lot of this, a lot of Floyd Mayweather, a lot of mid-2000s, early 2000s Spurs. They weren't boxing. They were just shooting. Where it's just like, efficient, uninspiring W. To me, that's going to, I don't know, it's not going to raise a concern, but my level of
guys, the
thrilling Chiefs will.
They're not that.
What they're not that.
It's
all there on a plate for them right now. If Mahomes doesn't come out and dominate this game, then it's not going to happen.
Okay.
And it's fine. It's W's, but it's fine. It's just.
You're right, Wilds. There's
shoulder roll.
And
you know how to do that?
Never lost with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's
but it's
saying. Not. It's hold on, just real quick.
You want to watch it every time.
No, because you have to create a whole persona otherwise.
It's what are we?
Well, he started arguing me
about Floyd Mayweather.
No, I'll go back to you.
Okay, it is not a style point sport. It is not figure skating. It is not gymnastics. There isn't the Russian judge you have to impress. There's a scoreboard. This team hasn't lost in 12 weeks, and they are. You guys, they also.
Can I just push back on you?
Yeah, sure.
Why did they do was it John Gruden, the coach of the Raiders at that time, who drove the bus around? Yeah. So you're going to drive the bus around our stadium? Yeah. Good news. Next time we play you, we're going to do a little spinning thing and score.
It wasn't the next time we played them, but sure.
But there was an element of, you know what? Screw you.
Yeah.
If that doesn't exist anymore, that used to be part of the Chiefs. That used to be part of Mahomes.
Yes.
But if that's not there, why aren't you doing it? Is it because you can't or you don't want to? Seems like you want to. Is it because you can't?
So I'll be honest, I'm a little confused. Are you talking about them pulling out trick plays because they've done that this year?
He's talking about Mahomes having great games. That's we understand the nature of the team is different. Mm-hmm. But Mahomes is still Mahomes, and he ain't 37. He's still young and in his prime. And like you said, I'm not going to, if he doesn't have a great game and they win like they've been winning, it's kind of boring. I'm not going to be like, oh, the Chiefs can't win it. But I'm going to be like, man, I want to see the Ferrari, not the Honda. And he is a Ferrari, so I'm just saying let's use him for something more than just going to the grocery store. Let's get out on the open road and let it rip.
I would disagree. He's been the driver of the Ferrari. He is not the Ferrari. He's had the engines around him.
You think he's the best quarterback we've ever seen?
I do.
Right?
I do.
He's a Ferrari.
But no, I'm talking about in terms of what you have underneath the hood. Like, he is the main attraction of it. But if you lose Tyreek Hill, you no longer have Hollywood Brown, and Xavier Worthy is the only deep threat, and you lose Rashee Rice. Travis Kelce is older. It's going to look different. I can still drive this vehicle, but it's not going to go as fast every day.
Now you got D-Hop. And every once in a while, how
So
about
now we want D-Hop to be Tyreek Hill?
You're talking about him going down?
No, I want a big game. He's got 6 touchdowns and 8 interceptions this year.
Yeah, okay, so
I want him to have like a big Mahomes type game.
That's why I was trying to ask what Wilds was asking, because I didn't know if he was saying he wants to see a trick play to stick it to him or just a big statistical performance. What I am trying to tell you is I do think he actually will have statistically his best game of the year this weekend. I think he'll have multiple touchdowns. I think Travis is going to score, and I think that, hopefully plays a clean game. He hasn't done that in quite some time. I think that's going to happen. I also think this almost sports fan entitlement of the Chiefs owe us to play a certain style because we like it more is insanity, because this style is more effective. As fun as it was the first 4 years of his career, they won 1 Super Bowl. The last 2 years, particularly last year into